we are an assisted investment platform for investing into cryptocurrencies. The easiest way to think about Flippy is we're building the small case for crypto. So we're not building another exchange, but we're building an aggregator platform on top, which essentially helps people invest in multiple assets at the same time. जैसे portfolio बनाना है एक single click में, so you can use Flippy to invest into the curated, ready-made portfolios instead of building it out on your own. So I came to know about Cuvette through references from my friends. Actually, a couple of my founder friends told me that they've been hiring through Cuvette, and they were able to source like good quality candidates. And this is definitely a gap that I had previously that I previously known, but I was not able to expand this outside of my own alma mater. Right, I belong to IIT Kharagpur. So I knew how to connect to in like students, like second year, third year students at IIT Kharagpur. But I did not know how to scale this effort across like multiple other colleges. So I was looking for a product. I was looking for a platform to help me hire like good quality interns outside of Angel. And once my friends referred me, saying, they are able to source good quality interns from here, I just thought, why not try it out? Overall experience, I would say was quite good. I think I used the platform early this year, probably around Jan and Feb of this year. We were able to get good quality candidates. The responses were quick. So what I got to know after I hired from Cuvette is the candidates told me, I mean, the interns that I hired, one of whom has converted into full time, told me that there is a community that has been built for all of the people who are on the platform. I think there's a certain sense of standardization you expect from, and there's a certain sense of professionalism and what to expect in your first internship. All of those basic pointers I felt was quite missing when I went to platforms like Angel or even LinkedIn for that matter. The fact that there is an easy apply option, or the fact that there's no mentorship or there's no community built around like how to apply or what to expect in your first internship or how to succeed in your internship. That particularly was not there, especially if I talk about the quality of work. I think both of the people that I hired from Cuvette were able to get go from day one. They knew what were their inefficiencies. They knew what they were good at, and they started working right from week one. And week two onwards, we started seeing output in the production. We started seeing their code being pushed into production. So I think that was the difference I saw primarily when it comes to quality of candidates. Outside of that, yeah, I think these candidates. It's not like these candidates are only on Cuvette. I think they're on multiple other platforms. The way you aggregate them and the way you standardize the things that should not that are apprehensive, that a startup is apprehensive about, be it the professionalism, be it how to get started, be it what to be honest about, what to not be honest about, even the negotiations for that matter. All of those things I felt were quite mature. See, I think it's a natural progression for any intern. So if any college student is trying to do an internship, obviously they're trying to get an experience into the overall job market and just get some meaningful experience to help them with their career. But one of the most obvious outcomes that an intern would expect is to convert that role into full time. And even from a company perspective, from a founder perspective, that's the best way to hire, right? Because anyway, hiring is an expensive process. So why not pay that money to the candidate themselves and see the output that they can provide and how well they can grow? So that is the first part. From a hiring perspective, I think it's the best way for the founders and the team to get to know the intern before getting them to hire. And even for an intern, they get to know how the team works, what the team culture is like, what the product works like. I think it's a win-win from converting an internship to a job offer. Secondly, I think from the perspective of internship to job, right? A lot of things change when you're an intern. unless this conversation is had beforehand, or unless the intern makes it very clear right from the beginning that, hey, I'm not here for just like a 2 month, 3 month long internship, and I'm here to convert this role full time. I think that makes a very significant impact in terms of the quality of work that they will be given, or like the quantum of work that the intern is given. Because both of the interns that I worked with were able to make this clear right from the first few weeks of their internships. As soon as they got to know the team, they got to know the product, they got to know the space, they made it very clear that they want to work with Flippy long term. I was feeling more comfortable giving them long term projects. And once that happens, obviously the interns are tied very well into the team, they're integrated very well with the team. It is a very natural step the for me as well as a founder to convert their position into a full time role. I would definitely be open to it, considering my experience with Cuvette has been so far quite good. To be honest, my none of my experience with any other hiring platform has not been so great, be it LinkedIn or Angel, purely because firstly, the quality of candidates is not that great. Second, it's not an integrated platform where you can do everything from rolling out an offer to shortlisting the candidates to rejecting or accepting a candidate. So that sort of holistic hiring experience did not exist. So purely from a product experience, it has been quite great. And secondly, even from the quality of candidates, as well as the thing that I mentioned, right, the standardization of across colleges, you expect different kinds of cultures, and you expect different kind of talking styles or negotiation styles. I think most of those things have been standardized. If that continues to be the case with freshers or like fresh graduates,
Got
I
it.
think I would prefer Cuvette over any other platform. I think the biggest feature is the pool of candidates, because that I think that is what I was most impressed by. We were actually talking to multiple interesting people when we were in our second round of interview. We were still struggling to decide between 3 or 4 candidates. I think that was the biggest, I would say, uh, that was the biggest thing that made us come back to Kuwait when we had to hire for like a front end role. I think we first initially started off with a back end role, or the other way around anyway. So that was the biggest thing. And second is like an integrated platform where you can basically roll out an offer, shortlist, uh, and even filter. There's a there are like a couple of one-liners that the candidates are encouraged to write out. This does exist in Angel as well, but I see people using a generic sort of like a text. But when it came to Flippy, I saw a lot of people writing personalized notes as to why they would be a good fit at Flippy and how their experience ties into this role at Flippy. So that particularly helped me a lot. I think that is something that more candidates on your platform should also do, right? More personalized uh, cover letters, and let the founders or the hiring team know why their experience ties into them being successful at this role, or how they can help the company grow by filling this position. From the perspective of hiring process, the first and foremost is there needs to be an intent to work with us. And there are endless number of candidates, right? There are thousands of people. If you write, I think I posted a listing on LinkedIn, and close to 400 people had applied. And there's no way to sift through these many candidates. There are no filters. There are no ways to gauge their intent. The first and foremost, that thing that we looked for when candidates applied at Kuwait is, do they have like a personalized cover letter, or do they have a note that they're sending across along with the application, and have they tried to connect with us offline, have they tried to use our product? So all of these things are uh, a very strong signals of intent to work. So that is most important, even above like the skill set. In fact, the backend engineer we hired had no experience in neither AWS nor GraphQL, which were vital, which were the spine of our entire backend code base. But we still hired because there was an intent to work, there was an understanding of the space, and there was a strong sense of, I would say, affinity towards building something very unique in this ecosystem. So that is the first and foremost thing. Second is there needs to be that growth mindset. No intern is expected to come in with a full expertise of the entire stack that the company is using. maybe you're using AWS and Python, and maybe you've used Firebase and Python, right? Maybe like you've not worked with GraphQL, and we use GraphQL. So all of these are very reasonable trade-offs when we are hiring for interns. Things change when you're hiring for a full time, but when it comes to interns, it's very obvious that there are very specific areas where we would expect them to contribute. So they the ability to grow, or like they need to demonstrate that during the conversation. That is like the first call that we try to gauge how uh, how well, or like how much is the candidate or how much is the applicant willing to learn what we are trying to do, because things are constantly changing and evolving, and there needs to be that growth mindset. Okay, hey, you know what, I'm coming in with this skill set, but I need to learn 5 other skill sets. So that affinity to grow needs to be there in an intern. And thirdly, they need to be good at what they already know. So whatever they've done, the projects they've done, the past internships they've done, or if they've tried to lead a team, or they've uh, managed a college fest, whatever it is that they've done, they need to be really, really good at it, and they need to have made a lot of conscious choices in those roles. So that essentially demonstrates that there is some level of individual leadership. They're able to lead themselves uh, in whatever they're doing. That needs to be very, very evident in terms of whatever they've done in the past. So these are the 3 main things. Outside of this, yeah, I mean, if you're hiring for a developer, they need, obviously we expect them to have developed something in the past. If you're hiring for product, we obviously expect them to have worked on some product or studied some product critically in the past. So all of these are baseline, I would say, expectations from all of the candidates. So at Flippy, it's very horizontal. I think half the times my interns come and tell me what we should be doing with the product, right? So there's a high level of ownership, especially when it comes to Flippy. The reason we hire interns is, firstly, see, we are a young team, we are working in an exciting and a new space, and hiring a 40-year-old is going to be detrimental to the vibe of our product. So we hire interns firstly because of the energy that they bring in, because they're fresh out of college, they're very primed, or like they're still in college and they're primed to put in a lot of work and put in a lot of efforts, and they bring in a lot of positive and creative energy. And second is obviously, like, the last part of my first point, which is creativity. I think the interns bring in a lot of creativity. They're more averse with the newest and the latest in both development and the product space. That is a massive improvement. That is a massive orthogonal value add to the team, which is something that we don't have in the team internally, because all of us have been working in the product. All of us have been involved in the space for quite some time. So interns specifically bring in a lot of new energy and a lot of creative aspect to their work, which in turn translates into a very in turn translates into an evolving sort of like a product in an evolving ecosystem. So those are 2 primary reasons. Outside of that, I think we usually try to hire people in the later stages of their academic life, typically third, fourth, or in, like, if people are in 5-year courses, like, 5th year. The reason is very simple. For us, interns are a very good way of gauging, like, internship is a very good way of gauging how well a candidate can fit into our ecosystem, our structure, and our way of working. So somebody who's in their final or pre-final year, who's serious about converting this into a full-time role, and who is keen on learning more about the product and the ecosystem before they convert it into a full-time role. These are the things that we look for, and these are the things that help us as well. So whatever time and money we invest into the interns, we expect to get back from them in terms of them converting into a full-time role and contributing to the product long term. Yeah, I think I've already recommended your platform to multiple people. So that's a no-brainer. I think I've had a very good experience, and I think both of you guys, you and Sudhanshu, are doing a very good job at building the platform and building the community. So it's very unique from that perspective. Like I mentioned, this is not something that most of the other hiring platforms have done or done effectively. So I would definitely be recommending Cuvette to all of my founder friends and all of my friends who are hiring.